Disgusting human habits.
Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing? Coming in and sitting down because today we're talking about how people eat themselves. You know, we've all heard of cannibalism, right? People who eat the flesh of their own kind. Something most people find horrific and utterly fascinating. Well, today we're going to talk about a different kind of cannibalism. One that many of the people watching this video actively participate in.
Eating their own nails. Eating their fingernails.
Oh, I bet you didn't know that, did you? Me? Cannibalize?
Eating their own skin.
Me, a cannibal? I could never. Liar! I'm talking about self-cannibalism, which refers to the act of eating one's self.
It's about to get real gross. You've been warned. Do you think this will be TOS? Nobody actually eats themselves.
That's not what we're talking about. Because whether it's nail bite.
Oh, see, no. Biting your toenails? XQC bites his toenails? I used to bite my fingernails when I was younger. I used to bite my fingernails a lot. I grew out of it. I don't know when, but it's just like randomly one day I just stopped doing it. I'll bite these. Literally, I'm about to bite this. Do you see this? When you have like that right there. What is that called? Like a hangnail? Like I bite those off. But that's all.
Biting, hair eating, or gobbling boogers, that's technically a form of cannibalism. Ooh, gotcha.
I wouldn't say eating your boogers is a form of cannibalism. Because it's not like, it's a bodily excrement. It's not a part of your body.
So today, we're going to talk about the gross reality of self-cannibalism. But first, let's learn a little more about what self-cannibalism is, right? We have to ask ourselves these questions all the time so we know we're all on the same page. Autocannibalism is closely related to, oh my God. God, that hot chicken sandwich earlier. I wish I just got like a burger. They seem like more of a burger place. It doesn't matter. Don't put this in. Autocannibalism is closely related with Pica, which is the compulsion to swallow non-food items that provide no nutritional value. Like
that's a real name for a disorder. Oh my God, the mattress person.
Show a picture of someone eating a bed.
My name is Jennifer, and I'm addicted to eating mattresses.
And she would show the fucking clip. Bro, I remember we watched that on stream. This was the most disgusting TLC one. Like fearful, dude. Outside of the woman that ate her husband's ashes, this was gross. Not because she was eating a mattress, because she would poop it out, and then she would go, like, she would reach in the toilet and go, like, because your body doesn't digest fucking mattress foam. So she would poop it out in a whole bit, and she'd be like, I'll just wash it off and eat it again. Like, what?
Or panties.
Do you think people that eat beds, that's gotta be carbs. Is there carbs in bed?
I guess it depends.
I feel like it's just like inedible, like foam. Like, is there any caloric intake from eating a bed? What is mattress foam made of? It depends probably on what it is. Polyols, the basic building blocks derived from oils like petroleum, isocyanates, which are reactants that trigger chemical changes when reacted to polyols. That doesn't help. Sounds like chemicals that you can't eat.
People who engage with these habits often suffer from things like depression, anxiety, and OCD. I don't know what to do for OCD. For them, this becomes a way of relieving stress. That's actually so funny because that's literally what you told me with your fingernails. Show a picture once again of Nick's fingernails. Show a picture of his toenails. Your toenails like that?
Oh my God, biting his toenails. Oh, I don't know why, because your toes probably are less dirty than your fingernails. But I perceive somebody chewing their fingernails a lot less gross than you gripping your foot and just gnawing on your big toe. Like your pinky toe. Oh, like toe cheese. Bro, everybody got toe cheese. To a degree, you got toe cheese. If you took, like, tweezers right now and went under your toenail on the side of your toe and went and scraped it, there would be, like, a white, it's like a filament, and it smells bad. I also have ingrown toenails, so my shit gets all fucked up. I'm not even gonna lie. I'd be peeling out my ingrown toenails because they curve into my foot like this, like a hook. And when I pull them out, stuff comes out. So gross. So gross. I need to get surgery for it, but I just don't want to.
I remember, I think it was my 6th grade birthday party. I had people over and I just took my sock off and started chewing.
Oh my God, mid-birthday party, you're like, and you just start going mid-conversation. You're like, yeah, no, keep going. You just rip off your sock and just start gnawing on your feet.
I'd ask you to go home, dude.
It was my birthday party.
I'm getting. Okay, did your friend leave?
No, he was just like, ew, what are you doing? And then another friend's just like, leave him alone. It's his birthday party.
It's just his
Leave him
birthday.
alone,
We
it's
just have
his
to sit
birthday.
here while he eats his foot. You're just like.
Then I realized, I was like, oh, wait, this is kind of weird. Maybe I shouldn't do this
Yeah!
in front of people.
Yeah, that's a clue. Other causes for these impulsions can be impatience, boredom, and irritation.
I just can't imagine the fucking taste, dude.
And over time, this can become a serious issue if gone unchecked. Things like stomach ulcers, nausea, and internal bleeding, making this bad habit severely damaging to oneself.
Oh my god, I thought he was like, oh look, I peeled it off, and then he would throw it out. He fucking ate it.
Also, I heard that they can make tiny cuts in your throat and shit. You know that?
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you were going to say you can get worms that way. Worm eggs will hide under your fingernails. So when you eat them, you get worms.
Have you gotten worms before, Nick?
Well, at one point I thought... If I ever had worms, I've never got them treated. So...
You like the worms? I've got worms, and I was just like, good neighbors is what they were. The causes are believed to be linked to mental illness, particularly psychosis. These harmful self-grooming habits are known as body-focused repetitive behaviors.
I don't know. I would say out of the percentage of people, I would say if I had to guess, 1 in 5 people bite their fingernails. Of the people that bite their fingernails, how many of them eat their toenails? Like 4%. I used to bite my fingernails. I never once was like, yeah, I'm going to start gnawing on my feet.
You think people eat their tongue?
Oh, yeah.
I've seen some. Don't you do that too? Don't you eat like a hole in your tongue? Or your cheek. That's what it was. I had a buddy who would eat the...
Oh, no. When you ever get like a canker sore, I be gnawing on that shit. If it's on the side of my mouth, I'm going like this. And just biting at it until it's just blood. Like raw. It bothers me so much.
The skin on the side of his tongue.
Like it becomes like obsessive.
Whatever. You'd like do that. Like chew on it. You like chew on it. And you like spit it. It's just disgusting. BFRB. But with that said, I like to go through the many unique types of autocannibalism to show you just how strange they can get, with each one getting progressively more bizarre.
I don't know anybody that eats their own hair.
Let's start off with by far the most common form of autocannibalism, which is biting your fingernails. How do you say that word? Onychophagia. Oh, these are nothing compared to your nails, dude. It's
Why do they have to have a scientific term for that? Why can't they just say you bite your fingernails?
crazy. How do you feel? You could be a poster boy for onychophagia. We need to make you like a Red Ribbon Army shirt that says BFRB, like the thing. While it's a common form of stress relief in adults, it can lead to a variety of health issues like stomach infections, dental misalignment, and fungal infections. And
I think that it's less gross when I see people with fingernails like that than when I see people with gross fingernails that are also really long. Like, you ever see somebody with like a coke nail? That shit's gross. You ever shake somebody's hand that has like a coke nail and it's just their pinky nails like this long, like all the way out to there? And it's like, yeah, I just know you do drugs. Like, why else would your fucking fingernail be that long?
stress relief in adults, it can lead to a variety of health issues like stomach infections, dental misalignment, and fungal infections, and even jaw pain from excessive biting. A man from Liverpool named Heinemann nearly died from this bad habit. After intense nail biting, he began to break out into a cold sweat and started to shake aggressively. I don't feel too good. He rushed
Why does he have to
to the hospital after seeing his fingernail had swollen up dramatically, and he had contracted sepsis and had to undergo 4 days under a hospital IV drip before
How the fuck did he get sepsis?
recovering.
For that, I feel like he dipped his finger in poo or something.
He was definitely, yeah, he fucking dipped his finger in poo, because he's probably digging down in there, getting poo in your
Or he was biting, what I would say is more likely, is he was biting his fingernails, cut his finger, like bad, took a shit, didn't wash his hands, went back to biting.
And on top of the potential health risks, many just find that they are ashamed of the way that their damaged hands look. Ashamed of the way their damaged hands look. Ashamed of the way their damaged hands look. ashamed of the way their damaged hands look.
I think there's only been one time where I was afraid for just have a date look at my hands because she was.
Oh, just one?
She was
Why?
so beautiful. I didn't want.
You're like, I've only been on a date with one person I ever truly found beautiful. But where this really starts to escalate is when the next stage, toenail biting, happens. God, you've done all of these, Nick. Not only does this come with similar risks, but it can cause serious interpersonal conflicts due to the gross
Bro, how long is he letting his toenails grow?
nature of the act.
My birthday party.
Literally. God, dude. Do you eat your boogers?
No.
Okay.
I have when I was younger.
Yeah, just no. No. It's fine.
I be flicking them shits. I'll pick my nose sometimes. I'm not going to lie. Most of the time, on stream, if you see me going like this, it's because I have a habit of cracking the cartilage in my nose. I don't pick my nose. If I'm alone, though, and I got a booger, you know, I'm digging for gold. Flick. Get that shit out of there. If I ain't got a tissue on me, if I'm next to a tissue box, yeah, I'm going to use the tissue. But everybody picks their fucking nose, dog. Get the fuck out of here. Like, actually, like, it's gross to do in public, but if you're, like, alone and you're like, oh, I got a booger, you start digging your nose, and it's fine. It's normal.
According to one man, he has to secretly store mouthwash in multiple areas of this house so that he could clean his mouth quickly after kissing his girlfriend due to her excessive toenail biting.
If it was that bad, I'm just telling her. I would break up with her, though, if she would refuse to, like, try and get help for that. Like, if her breath was so gross that she would, like, if you're early into dating and she's, like, her breath stinks that bad, she won't use mouthwash herself, she bites her fingernails that bad that it's like she got, like, shit breath. Like, bro, you need, like, hygiene. Like, hygiene's a big thing.
Also, dude, bro's down bad. She better have she better have a whop on her if that's the case, dude. Be like, mate, why don't you just leave her? Leave her. Everyone's from Liverpool now. Why don't you just leave her? And he's just like, I can't. Got like cuts of shit from her toenail, whatever, on his lip. I can't. It's too good. It's like the genie granting me a wish every time. Nope. Could be that good for me, dude. I'm like, I'm getting the fuck out of here, man. Others admit that they are in their 40s and still secretly bite their toenails when their wives are not looking. That's impressive. Do a quick, like, cat stretch real quick. You put it back down.
I feel like you could tell when somebody bites their nails, though, because they don't look the same as cut nails with a nail clipper.
People lament that despite the insane amount of pain they're under, they still can't help but rip off their entire nail plates of their toes.
See, I've had this compulsion where I was like, I just want to rip my fingernails and toenails
What?
off.
Why?
They're already so low. I was like, I just need to get rid of them. But I don't want the pain. It hurts.
I might as well get rid of them.
We're starting to move on to much
Bro, they're there for a reason.
more concerning stages, which are much less commonly practiced. So let's move into dermatophagia. These are.
Oh my god, what the fuck? Oh, they're like biting their skin.
This is like I said, like once again, as we start rolling down, try to stay with me. It's gonna get worse. Gonna get kind of gross.
What reason? It's a protective thing for your hands and your feet. And you have a lot of nerve endings it protects. Why do we have fingernails? Protecting the distal phalanx, the fingertips surrounding soft tissue. Yeah, it's like you have armor. Because these are, the tips of your fingernails are most likely to get injured when you're doing stuff. So you have armor on your fucking nails. Or on your fingers.
Show a picture here. Dermatophagia.
We're going to have a secret for all
That just looks like real, that looks like somebody went in the pool for fucking 7 hours.
those who stay.
Yeah, but at the end of the
I hate that feeling, by the way. When you got grandma hands, you know what I'm talking about? It ruins the fun. Once you recognize you got grandma hands, you ain't want to swim anymore.
This is a compulsion to bite and consume the skin of your own body. It's commonly performed on the hands, like chewing calluses and sucking on knuckles. Never have I once seen that in my life, and that would be
Zeusy chooses calluses. Zeusy choose. When these would get bad when I was in high school, I would sometimes bite them. I haven't done that in years.
It could also include other areas of the body, like biting the lips and cheeks to the point of
Oh, I'll do that sometimes. If I got like a dry lip, I'll go and then pull it.
Causing painful sores. People that engage in this habit often have visible
It won't get that bad, though.
scarring on their body and have irritated skin. Similar to the precious types, dermatophagia can often result in infections, and the damage done to the skin can cause people to socially isolate themselves due to the shame and embarrassment of their condition. I just want to say this now. I don't want to sound rude. Anyone who does any of this shit, biting for your all that, hide. Don't come out. Go into a cave, pull a big rock over the opening, and stay there until you die, and let your soul rot in hell for all eternity.
Message received.
Message fucking received. One woman who was living with this disorder for over 20 years has dealt with a constant struggle to get rid of the bad habit, and even the risk of infection didn't motivate her to stop, with her longest break from the habit only lasting 5 weeks. People in relationships with those affected by this condition reveal that the constant sounds of chewing skin drives them insane.
Oh my God, imagine in the middle of the night you wake up, you're like laying on one side of the bed, on your side, and on the other side you hear like they're fucking like a chipmunk gnawing on their teeth.
It's devastating. Listen to that sound. He's like, I'm not touching that.
Could you imagine getting a hand job from those hands?
That'd be awesome.
Oof.
I bet you a hand job from some zombie hands would be insane. Be like a lizard's back or something.
That doesn't sound...
You don't like that?
No.
That doesn't sound very pleasing, honestly. And another woman online discusses her husband who, after recently getting married, witnesses him
What do I do if he eats his foot skin?
secretly peeling large pieces of his foot skin and eating it. The second that he comes home from work, pops his sock off, and goes to town. Once again, to the point where she feels too repulsed to kiss him. Peeling off your fucking heel skin like a anaconda shedding its skin is insane. But, you know, as we progress through the types of autocannibalism, things only start to get more bleak, like trichophagia. This refers to the act of ingesting one's own hair.
That I could get behind eating my skin and my fingernails before my hair. I hate getting hair in my food. I hate the fucking texture and feeling of hair in my mouth.
Often to relieve
And like there's no part of it that breaks down. Like it's just like keratin.
stress. It can extend past just the hair on your head, but with some people pulling out beard hairs, eyebrows, eyelashes, and even hair.
Bro, I used to have a kid in my middle school that was balding because he used to pick the back of his own hair and eat it. And I remember it was like, I was probably in 6th grade. He was probably in 5th. And I used to watch him do it all the time at like lunch and gym class because we would have shared lunch and gym. And I would be like, what is he doing? And then one day, like 3 months down the line into him doing it, he like turned his head and the sun hit it right. And he was just bald, like in the back of his head. I was like, what the fuck?
Hair from their genital area. You imagine munching down on some taint hair. This condition is seen mostly in younger children and can cause some pretty alarming health problems outside of usual bald spots that occur from pulling out your hair. Those that consume their hair for several years can slowly develop a trichobezor to form inside their stomach.
What, like a fur ball?
What? Just this picture.
That much hair could be in somebody's stomach.
There's just a ball of hair, like a f***ing cat. Ugh. Because hair is hard for the body to break down and digest, it gets stuck inside of your body. Essentially, a human hairball forms that can sometimes travel down your gastrointestinal tract and into the bowels as it reaches the limits of your stomach wall.
And then they need to get surgery.
This is known as Rapunzel syndrome and can result in its own terrifying list of complications. Trichophagia, if left untreated, can be life-threatening. The only recourse is invasive surgery, where somebody's got to come in and probably like pull that fucking hair out. Show some pictures of that.
Probably can't show that.
No.
Even as a child as old as 9 was rushed to the hospital due to Rapunzel syndrome. Sophie Goss had been constantly pulling out and eating her
Bro, that's what it looked like on the kid.
hair, to the point where her mother started putting olive oil on it at night and giving Sophie gloves to prevent her from yanking on it. So she's probably like, whoop.
She was seasoning it.
Well, I was like, this is going to taste delicious probably. But she's probably like, it's probably like oiling it up. She's like, why can I not?
Honestly, I feel like that's where you got to get that like lemon spray shit they use for dogs. My dog used to eat my Christmas tree, and so I would have to spray it with this weird thing that smelled like shit, and it was bitter. And she immediately stopped. And I feel like if you sprayed that on the back of your kid's head, they ain't eating their fucking hair.
At one point, she approached her mother and told her she felt like she was going to die after throwing up a hairball and passing out. She was rushed to the hospital where a hairball the size of her belly had to be removed surgically after it created a hole in her stomach. That's insane, man. Like, I mean, think about it. That's like a hairball like that big, like a hair volleyball. Now let's talk about one of the strangest types of autocannibalism, autovampirism. Simply put, these people are drinking their own blood, all right? We've seen some people kind of mess with it. Brian Johnson, the man who's living forever. We deal in blood, but these people are drinking their own blood. They're stabbing themselves and like,
I don't want to say I think about Brian Johnson every week, but whenever I see a Brian Johnson video and he's like, I'm trying to be one of the longest living people. I have a bodily age of blank and blank, and I'm 45, but my body's like 32. I just feel like he's still going to die when he's 70. Like, some shit you can't control, you know? Like, he does all these body tests. He fucking reverses the ages of everything. Like, bro, you might just develop a disorder and die. Like, when you're like fucking 75. Like, regardless of what you do. I think a lot of it is chance. A lot of it is genetic chance, and then, yeah, also fucking health. If you eat like shit and smoke cigarettes all the time, you're going to die when you're fucking 40. But outside of that, like, eating moderately well and just, like, exercising and stuff, like, that gap, the gap from somebody that's, like, morbidly obese and eats like shit to somebody that just eats moderately well and works out is huge. And then that gap from that person to Brian Johnson, the dude who eats 45 different vitamin pills every day and spends hundreds of thousands of dollars on like health shit, is like so minute. Like, he's not gonna live to 120. Like, I'll put my fucking money on that. Like, I'm not wishing death upon him by any means, but like, I feel like he's going way too far.
They're like a giant Capri Sun canister, right?
Then he's not even living. Like, every day, his whole life is to prolong his life. And I'm like, bro, now you're not, all you do all day is work out, eat your fucking gross vitamin pill, and like slurp green juice that fucking feeds you well. And all you focus on all day is like reversing your body's age. Like, do you ever have fun or like travel and eat a fucking ice cream cone in vacation?
Self-harming for the sole purpose of doing so. Some believe it is participated by some strictly for sexual pleasure, while others form an unyielding compulsion. Some also believe that consuming such a large amount of iron can actually be toxic to the human body. It's hard to know much about this specific...
Yo, whenever you get a nosebleed, though, and then some of it, like, you tilt your head back and it goes in your mouth, bro, that shit just actually tastes like I'm licking a steel pole.
...condition.
Ugh.
Seeing as it's incredibly rare.
Ugh.
But one woman, a 38-year-old makeup artist named Georgina Condon,
with vampire teeth,
documented her experience with this practice. She began picking
drinks her boyfriend's blood.
She began picking scabs off her body and desiring a taste for blood at the age of 12, a feeling she compares to hankering for red steak. Can you imagine pulling off his...
I would feel unsafe if my girlfriend wanted to drink my blood. Like, in my brain, like, yeah, that might be some, like, kink shit to them, but I'd be like, you're going to eat me. Like, one day you're going to eat me. Like, you're going to kill me. You're going to kill me and eat me. Like, there's going to be a line of no return.
Supposedly, she is terrified of needles and blades, which stopped being an issue once she met a man named Zamal at the vampire-themed Bloodlust Ball in Brisbane. He became her blood donor, cutting him and feeding from him every week to stay satisfied. She explains that she would never consume blood from another donor, as this would technically be cheating. Some people who want to consume parts of their own body choose to make it a whole event rather than just drinking their own blood. They decide to use it to cook an elaborate meal.
Oh, isn't there a guy that like cut his nutsack off and sold it to people?
Like the woman who cooked a human blood sausage. Oh, this looks disgusting. Doesn't it look nasty? Das was gut. Gwen Vandersvan, despite being dissuaded from doing so from her peers, decided to cook a blood sausage using her own blood. She didn't see what the big deal was, seeing as people eat pigs and cows without feeling anything at all. She slowly crafted the blood sausages, deciding to serve them to herself along with a friend. According to her, it was very enjoyable experience. I bet she's real fun. What, so we do it to cows all the time? I can't do it to myself? I hate when people do that shit. Oh, okay. So I guess should we just eat the dogs too? If my fat ass was given blood sausage and I was like, you want that? I'd be like, no. There's no way my blood can be good. I'd be like, no thanks. We now have to talk about the weirdest side of autocannibalism. Some people don't just eat their hair or small parts of their skin. They eat their entire limbs off their body. Let's talk about people.
Bro, what? How do you even do that without dying? Like eating your leg?
Eating their fingers. David Playpens, who was caught in a nasty motorcycle accident, had one of his fingers turn completely black. He was told he would have to have it amputated, but David had no interest in getting rid of it. He had also been curious about what human flesh tastes like and ultimately decided to take the finger home so they could cook it and eat it. He kept the...
They'll let you take the finger home?
I've actually wondered what human tastes like, so I'd rather do that. I would say, Excuse me? Would you eat if you...
It's like getting a tooth removed. I think it's different from like you losing a baby tooth or something. When you get a cavity removed, they ask you if you want it. No. I've never had a cavity removed. So, isn't it weird how the tooth fairy gives poor kids less money for their teeth?
Well, another man from New Zealand who suffered from severe depression decided on a whim that he would cut off one of his fingers for the purpose of cooking it alongside some veggies and eating it. No drugs and alcohol were involved. He was simply assessed by psychiatrists to have a vulnerable personality structure, whatever the that means.
Did someone tell him to do it?
Bro, but cooking your own finger? You ain't even getting that much meat off a finger, bitch. Like, if I cut off my own finger and cooked it, like, I'm getting maybe a third of a chicken wing worth of food. Like, I feel my own bone. Which finger would you cut off? Well, if I was forced to cut off my own finger, I'd cut off my pinky finger. Why would I cut off any other finger?
It was revealed that after being attacked by two men, he fantasized for the first time about not only killing them, but eating them as...
Yeah, actually, don't you lose more strength from not having a pinky finger than another one? Like, it might be smart if you had to cut off one finger to cut off, like, your middle finger. And then you would still have your grip. Or your ring. Probably your ring finger. Like, cutting off your ring finger would be like, you would still have a claw grip. Like, it's more useful.
During a depressive episode, he started battling on insomnia and started having endless thoughts about cutting off his fingers, eventually trying to shoelace around one and slicing it off with a jigsaw. He originally planned to cut off and consume 2 more fingers the next day, but was given more serious medical care before he could do so. He admits that he regretted the decision in the end. It's just like a crazed manic episode, basically. I wonder where the fingers, though.
Manic episode for days, you're like, I need to chop off my own fingers.
Probably like the easiest thing to cut off and not like bleed out.
You think so? I feel like it's just something of like it's the first, you have the thought, and what's the first thing you see? He's just like, that's the first thing he saw. I feel like, I'd want, if I was going to eat part of myself, I want this part of your palm. Doesn't that just look juicy? Just scoop that out with a melon baller.
I'd go for...
Oh, if I had to eat one part of my body, I'm eating my calf. I think that would be like a turkey leg. Your thigh, it's too much meat. Probably eating the calf. I think the calf would be tender, not fatty. Like, I wouldn't want to eat something that's fatty. Like, you got to think, you're cutting off your thigh, you got a lot of fat in your thighs. You ain't got a lot of fat in your calves. No, honestly, probably the bot. Well, I would rather lose a leg than an arm. But, would I rather lose a leg than an arm? Would you rather lose a leg or an arm? Probably a leg. I don't know. Maybe an arm. Probably an arm. If I had to lose one limb, it'd probably be my left arm. Oh, but then I can't play video games well. No, I'd rather lose like my right leg. I don't know. That's in the heat of the moment, I would make that decision. Anyways, if I had to try something, I feel like my bicep would probably taste pretty good. I mean, you gotta do you think it'd be tough though? I feel like it'd be. Why am I talking about this?
A little ham hock.
You like a little ham hock?
Or a little muffin top.
Ooh, my muffin top would taste delicious. My muffin top would be sweet, baby. Nice little sweet potato with it. I'd be like, God damn, I'm gonna get a little sweet tooth after this. I want ice cream. To keep the train rolling.
Ooh, my butt. Make a nice roast.
How about we talk about the death row inmate who ate his own eyeballs? Eyeballs, ladies and gentlemen. Not just one.
Asperger pog.
Pop both his muffins in. There's a little melon bar. In 2004, a man named Andre Thomas was imprisoned after murdering both his wife, his 4-year-old son, and a 13-year-old daughter. It was reported that he cut out and held onto the hearts of both of his children and was doing so because God himself directed him to save them from the demons that lived inside of them, aka great mentally well guy. Not only did the doctors diagnose him as a paranoid schizophrenic, but he was also under the influence of a mixture of weed, alcohol, and cough syrup. I feel like the cough syrup was probably more to play there. Yeah, he was smoking reef.
Yeah, I don't think the weed was motivating him to do that.
Yeah, he drank a little alcohol. And he drank a bunch of cough syrup. Sure, we could blame the cough syrup all day. He was given the death penalty and put on death row, but a later case was made that he did not deserve to be executed, as he was mentally ill man, not sound of mind. Which I say, off, dude. Rather fine than kill the monster. You know what I mean? Put him down. Bye-bye. While the man was behind bars, he had become convinced that the government was listening to the thoughts in his head. This motivated
Oh my God, he cut off his own eyes.
him to gouge out both of his eyes. He made the decision to consume his left eye after the fact because, quote, he was certain they would figure out some way to put it back in. Which, wouldn't you hate that? You know, the eyeball thing is crazy, but after reviewing this document, this was supposed to be the first one that we're going to talk about. And but in my opinion, it is by far the most grotesque. So if you've made it this far, I appreciate
He ate his own eyeballs.
you. But buckle up, because we're going. I'm saying I want editor load this shit up with the.
Okay, hold up. I need a scan. Oh, it's all blurred. Oh, this is about people eating boogers.
Most disgusting B-roll. This is by far the most disgusting section of the video. I'm of course referring to as mucophagy, which mucophagy refers to the act of feeding on your own mucus.
I like the word feeding.
I do too.
I've never wanted to eat my own boogers or mucus. When I'm very sick, I have always thought, like really sick, you know when you're blowing snot by like the ton? I've always thought it would be interesting to get an empty milk jug and try and fill it with snot just to see what it would look like. Like that green snot. Imagine, though. Like, no, I don't know. I feel like it would be like a goal of sorts. I know this is crazy. But like, I don't know. I just feel like when I'm really sick, I'd be like, oh yeah. When I fill the jug up, I'll be normal again. And then I don't know. Like, what do you think it would smell like? That would be like biological warfare.
For some, this is nothing strange. Who hasn't eaten their boogers at least once, right? As a little kid? Little pick and scratch, a little eat, who knows? Well, most view this act as gross and unsafe.
Like a piss jug? Everybody's filled a piss jug. I mean, come on.
According to Dr. Joseph Mercola, consuming your dried mucus acts as a sort of potential vaccine, strengthen your body's immune system by creating antibodies and help it fight future diseases. Researchers at MIT claim that eating boogers can help protect your teeth from cavities, as ingesting it releases salivary mucins that form a barrier on your teeth that blocks bacteria. Others believe that there's not really enough research surrounding booger eating to guarantee the benefits that some people say. And not only that, but it encourages the spreading of
These people are posting imagery of their boogers.
Germs of household objects, which can lead to more people getting sick.
That's why you eat, with a spoon.
You eat it with a spoon. So outside of proposed health benefits or compulsion, some just enjoy the taste. And here's a nice...
Bro, no. Listen. Well, you know when you're really sick and it's like you got that congestion like in between your eyes, like right up here, and you hit him with the meanest, and it's just like... boom, like a rocket. Something shoots out and you could breathe again. Top 10 most satisfying feelings. Oh my God. Yes, that is amazing when you go, and the relief you feel.
He says, and I quote, "I've loved picking my nose and eating my boogers for as long as I can remember. Not only is the feeling of picking my nose very satisfying, the more substantial the booger, the more excited I get. The taste is unlike anything I've tried before. Amazing salty flavor. If it's a dried booger, it's usually even more delectable. But runny boogers are fun to be slurped up like spaghetti."
How did that guy have that much mucus in his nose?
A woman that had been married for 5 years has strongly considered getting a divorce after discovering her husband had been hiding a terrible booger eating habit. After walking in on it, she asked what he was doing, to which he smiled and exclaimed, "Eating my booger?" Why does this feel the most disgusting out of everything? This might sound dumb, but it's because he feels so juvenile. Like, does it feel like when people do it, they're almost like a
Well, it's like a kid. Yeah, it's a kid thing to eat your boogers.
baby or something? Like, it's kind of like almost like diaper play or some shit with it. Eating my booger. I don't know. Also the texture and the color. She repeatedly voices her disgust over how giddy he was to admit what he was doing, almost as if he was proud of it. His habit caused her to struggle kissing him.
Don't lick it.
Grossed out over the thought of his
Oh my God, no.
boogery mouth, which I'd be saying they do. You're like, and you're just like picturing like this gum.
Oh my God, I didn't know XQC just be doing that casually on
Like
stream.
boogers in his gums or on his tongue or something. Oh God, because you're like, whatever, that kind of shit. Ugh. It's not clear if they ever got divorced, but she admitted that she no longer respects him the way she used to, which is just awesome.
What if you found out if Allison was a secret booger eater?
I wouldn't care, dude. That's my.
And how would you not know that till marriage? Like, you're just with them every day, they never eat their boogers?
She was eating the horse's boogers.
If I went down and I saw my wife putting her face on like a horse's nostril and she was eating that, I'd probably run. That's insane.
Oh my God, yeah, you just fucking open mouth on a horse nostril and then get it to sneeze.
No,
I'm
dude.
gonna throw up, Skip. Bro, we're
I
almost
just don't-
done. There's like a minute left.
No.
Do you think? Okay, well, I think that I know this answer, but is it worse to eat other people's boogers?
Yes.
Yeah. What the fuck? That's not even a question. It's way less gross. I would say it's less gross. Anything of yourself is there's nothing where it's like more okay to eat of somebody else. Like piss, blood, shit, fucking snot, cum, like fucking anything of your own is like, I mean, all of it's gross, but it's like yours is much less gross than of someone else.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Without a fucking doubt in my mind, yes. Oh my God. But as the final treat, we're going to throw in a story about a cult leader who made his followers eat his waste. So let's talk about the Thai feces eating cult. Tawi Nanra is a Thai
feces eating cult.
Cult leader who gained infamy in 2022 after police raided his remote jungle compound in Chayaphum. The 75-year-old man was arrested after the bodies of 11 members were found alongside him. For years, Nanra ran a cult in which he referred to as the father of all religions. He taught his followers that all ailments and illnesses could be cured by eating his skin and various body secretions. His followers
so they would eat his poop.
Would consume his dandruff, mucus, skin, piss, and shit. And the various bodies found belonged to followers that foolishly believed in his treatments, and none of his followers were doing anything by force.
I mean, that's very hard to convince someone. Like, falling for a cult, like, a lot of people end up falling for cults. Like, that's not uncommon. There's, thousands of cults that have existed. But usually there's some level of, like, yeah, there's a reward-based thing here that you fall for. Convincing somebody like, hey, you just got to eat my poop and you'll be okay.
With one officer witnessing a member willingly drink urine during the arrest. His followers chased after the police car as the 75-year-old man was taken away. They swore by their teachings, refuting criticism made by the public about their disgusting practices. And one member in regard to eating Nanra's waste states, quote, "There isn't even an odor. Only those with tainted mind may smell it." Which I gotta say goes so hard. You smell shit? Probably because you have a dark soul. That goes kind of hard, dude. He was denied bail and remained in custody as the police began.
Dude, imagine he eats some gross ass meal. Imagine you're really sick and you're like, I need help. And he's like, okay, my son. And then just eats like fucking 3 bean burritos.
Could you imagine like him just sitting there? Do you think he had nose pickers?
Oh, dude, no, I think that he's sitting there and he's doing his teachings. He's like, only through me is everything here. And he like does this and a girl like crawls up. Oh. Probably do it with like and shit too. You have to suck my fucking eat my that kind of stuff too.
But only if you want to.
But only if I'm holy. I'm very holy. Listen, autocannibalism is a terrifying thing. But there's a treatment for these kinds of conditions like medication and cognitive behavior therapy that can help remove the obsessive compulsions that cause these problems. And if you're someone who is just casually bites their nails or perhaps bites a callus or two, keep an eye on yourself. You may think it's stress relieving, but it's not entirely harmless. Thank you so much, and hey, I hope your bellies are full while you're eating your fingernails and skin off the heel of your foot and shit and boogers and all that.
Yeah, that was a very interesting video. XUC accurately represented in the meat universe once again. All those clips of XUC were fucking rough to watch. I swear he licked the booger off his phone. I got physically ill. But those, like, do you think he still does that? I feel like those clips are old. All right.